The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Carrie Dieter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour. We have returning guest Linda Cope of Warrior Beach Retreat, the founder, and we have Dana Rimmer, and I'm not even going to try saying Buster's last name. Buster owns Buster's Beer and Bait on Thomas, and he's got something exciting going on. Now, you pronounce your last name because I'll mess it up.
All right, Busuttil.
See, Busuttil, because I tried to make it an Italian name, and it's not, because he hails, and family hails out of Malta. So, yeah. In any event, you're going to give us an AAR first on the Warrior Beach Retreat. I got two questions. One is, how many warriors and wives were here for the retreat that were accommodated and helped? And two, do you have an estimate of what the turnout was? Because I was out of town, remember?
We had about a total of 38 combat wounded warriors and their spouses that came. And the turnout was phenomenal. I'm always amazed at how this community lines the streets, and I just can't thank them enough for their continued support twice a year.
Yeah.
And it just, the healing that goes on with these men and women, as Dana will talk about, just riding in that parade in itself and seeing the love and support of the community. And we go by Paul Busuttil's business, whatever that is, but whatever last name is.
Busuttil,
we
yeah.
go by
Busuttil.
Buster's.
There you go, yeah.
They are lined out there, lining the streets just like so many other businesses do. I don't know if they shut down or what, but when they get the times for the parade routes, they show out in force. So I thank the community for making these retreats possible.
And it's always just wonderful to see everybody out supporting, and they're saluting, and gosh, it's just wonderful. People are all teared up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I never get teared up, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then in the front of the parade, we have about 5 vehicles of the Vietnam vets and those that have served prior to them, to give them honor they definitely never received. And we are just so grateful to live, in my opinion, in the most patriotic community in the nation.
I wish every community in the nation was like this community.
Yes.
Talk about a great nation. Wowee. That would be something else. It could happen.
It could.
So anyway, pipe dreamer. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
a pipe dreamer. Dana Rimmer, talk to us, man. Tell us about what's going on, how you got here, how you met Linda. And I already caught a little bit because he was given an ultimatum to do this or do that or don't come home. So come on, spill the beans.
Well, my wife contacted Linda and Philip about coming on a retreat. I believe it was April a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And we came down for that April retreat, and it was a blast. I mean, it was just, she didn't warn us about the parade at all. So the whole parade just kind of blew me and my wife away. We actually came down with another couple from Colorado, and after the parade, before we left to go home, we actually had already made up our minds that we were moving back. And we got back to Colorado. We were there maybe 4 months, sold our house, everything we owned out of the house, and moved into our RV. And me and another family and my family, we all caravanned back down here, and we've been here for a year now, all because of just the community.
So started out, you didn't really know what to expect.
Exactly.
So you came not knowing what was going on.
I was actually, believe it or not, I told my wife I did not want to come on the retreat. I was still stuck in my little bubble, you know, my after Army, I'm alone bubble.
Yeah.
So I was kind of stuck, and I didn't want to get out, out of my house. I didn't want to converse with the world, so I was kind of stuck. But she forced me in the car and on the airplane, and when I got here, I saw basically the community, the outreach from the community, and how much they, supported us and what we did. And I was like, you know what? I love this place. It's right in the, even though I spent so much time, deployed in the desert and all that, I still came back to the beach.
Yeah,
So
it's amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
And that story is repeated over and over. I wasn't coming here, and I just came here. Linda knows the story, and I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, it was like, okay, this is home. I'm moving. Boom,
Yep.
done.
Yeah, we got here, like I said, a little over a year ago, and we helped out with a couple of retreats, and my wife's helped put up posters and organize some stuff, and we've been to Linda's house for dinner a couple times, and we're just, I mean, we just help now, you know. We do.
That's what we do.
You know, they made us feel special, so we want the people and the soldiers that come after us and the servicemen that come after us to feel just as special as we did. So if we can, you know, if we can carry some luggage or you know, help serve food or something, that's what we do.
Yep.
It's just, you know, one person giving back to another, and so that's what we do.
Yep. Vets helping vets. That's what it's about.
What it's about.
Absolutely. So, and tell me, what's your wife's name?
My wife's name is Tana.
So you get to come on here today and bump your gums, and she's probably out working or doing something. She's probably doing something you should be doing, right?
Correct. My wife.
Let's give her credit.
My wife is actually a registered nurse.
Hallelujah.
And she just started this past semester to get her master's, and she just started a new job. She was working at the
Emerald Coast
Emerald
Behavioral
Coast
Oh,
Hospital.
okay. Yeah, down
she
there
was
with
working
Tim
there, and
Bedford.
she would help with the cook off whatever they had there.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Oh, I did make it for that.
Yeah, that was great.
She used to help with that, and then she got a better position, more money, better hours, so she jumped on it, and because she works, I don't have to. I can live off my retirement.
You did not say that on TV. Goodness gracious.
You will never
You're gonna
live
be in
that
trouble
down.
now, dude.
Oh yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
So
You're
it's
done.
just, I don't know. I'm grateful every day. You
Well,
know,
that's good.
I mean, I've had so many close calls, and any day I wake up on this side of the ground is good.
I hear you,
So-
brother. I'm with you on that one. And I'm especially partial to the nurse. I've got two daughters that are nurses. One has her master's, getting her PA, and the other one's finishing her master's right now. But anyway, yeah, it's about giving back. So, and nurses are kind of
Yeah.
driven. So yeah, you're in trouble for
Yeah,
sure.
most
Yeah,
definitely.
you're going to get it. Now, let's hear your Air Force story there, Airman.
Yeah,
Major.
well,
Major.
I joined the Air Force when I was 17, and
Told him you were 18, right? You lied
no, my
about
mom
your
had
age?
to sign. My mom had to sign, and I just kind of fell in love with it, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to fly. Went to college at night, and was an aircraft mechanic, and then went to college at night, got my degree, got my master's degree, and then applied to be an officer, got accepted, and then I was a air battle manager flying on J-Stars and AWACS.
Yeah.
And so I, you know, love to give back to the veterans. I see what Linda does and War Beach Retreat, and it's great to see it firsthand. Get to talk, because I don't get to talk to the veterans that come in afterwards. Typically we see you ride by, you know, we're out there. And what I do to fill up the streets by busters is I offer free beer. So we
Say
have,
it ain't so.
so and I think they don't even get a beer. Maybe they do, but I offer free beer, and a lot of people come. A lot of veterans come to Buster's Beer and Bait.
Oh, yeah.
And Buster's Hangar 67, which I built next door now, opened it up next door, and that's dedicated all to the military, all branches of the military. You got to come check that
See,
out.
no, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's
It's beautiful.
yeah, it's really, really nice, and it's like I said, for all the branches of the military.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
a
want
nice
to come see
place.
that for sure. I mean, you're well known in the community, the military community, and the biker community as well. Because I mean, you run a good operation, and
Yeah, thank
class
you.
operate
Thank you.
well. I mean,
It's-
everybody
it's
loves
all
you. And it's not because of the free beer. I ain't got one of those yet.
Yeah.
I must be
Well, the
Free
next
beer
retreat
tomorrow.
is
something
the
about
third.
bottles and throttles don't mix. So,
No.
you know.
Yeah,
No.
free beer tomorrow, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So I retired out of 10. I knew I came here in 1987 for the first time, and I knew in 1987 I want to eventually come back here.
Yeah.
Came back in 2001. I went through school, and then 2010 I came back from Germany as an instructor here at Tyndall, and decided that, you know what, I don't want to leave. Me and my wife, and my wife is she teaches high school at North Bay Haven Charter Academy.
Cool.
So we love it here, and like you said, this is the greatest community in
Oh,
America with
absolutely.
the patriotism that we have, and here I love it. I feel very welcome, and I feel that we all work together as a veteran community
Yes.
to make
Oh, yeah.
things better for those who are suffering. You know, a lot of veterans suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I love the most about this area, the Panhandle, not that it doesn't happen other places, but if you need to move or whatever, I mean, I firsthand, military community, Legion people, VFW people, ham vets, hey, I got to move. How many trucks we need? Yeah, I think 3 will do. You know, they'll show up with 5. You know, and you think it's going to take you, 5 hours to move, you're done in 2 hours. It's like, wow. So the help is always there. You need a ramp built, there are people in there. That's right. You know, and active duty as well. You know,
oh yeah,
Red Horse does a lot around here too. Goodness gracious.
And Paul, you've got 2 children, one in the Air Force Academy, a son,
my son,
and then a daughter in medical school.
Yeah.
You all have done a good job raising those children.
Oh yeah, it was like we talked about earlier before the show. It's hard to raise kids, and moving around every 2 to 3 years was always a challenge. But they persevered through it, so I'm very proud of them.
Good deal. That's fabulous.
Well, tell about this fundraiser.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Warrior Beach Retreat.
Well, it's
Warrior Beach Retreat.
Yeah, it's everything. A lot of the fundraiser we do every fundraiser we do is for the veterans. We also do the local Toys for Kids Foundation. We do a lot of charities for that. But this one is very special, and it's kind of funny how it came about. I saw a thing. AC/DC, which is like one of my favorite bands, was doing a show, AC/DC cover band called Stiff Upper Lip, and they did a veteran show. So I sent them a message on Facebook, and I said, "Hey, how much do you guys charge?" They said, "Well, we only play for veterans events." I'm like, "Well, I'm a veteran-owned and operated establishment, and we would love to have you there. What would it cost?" He's like, "Well, he went over the costs and stuff like this," and I said, "Well, it's kind of on my price range." He says, "Well, we don't usually charge the person." I'm like, "What?" He says, "I got something for you. Let me call you back." So next week, called back. He said he got an anonymous donor to donate a 1979 Corvette. 1979 black Corvette that he donated with the stipulation has to go to a veterans organization.
Sure.
So I could think of no other organization than Warrior Beach Retreat and what they're doing here. I love the stuff that they do. We donate. Last year we donated $1,200 on the fly. It really was something I made up in 1 week, just doing a poker run with the golf carts, and we donated $1,200.
That's wonderful.
This is we have 200 tickets. And they're $100 a piece, so we're trying to raise $20,000 minus whatever proceeds we make for paying to get that band here. They're going to be here November 11th. They're going to push it, but so you can buy tickets at Buster's Beer and Bait or at Buster's Beer and Bait Facebook, online, bustersbeerandbait.com. And so we're trying to we sold over 100 tickets, so we have about 95 left. And they're going quicker as we get closer. Next Saturday, the anonymous donor, we're hoping that he comes to pull the ticket from Tampa.
Wow.
So the band is from Tampa, and they've been selling tickets up there. You don't have to be present to win. You can buy them online, and the car is valued. Every person values it different, but the Blue Book is between $14,000 and $17,000. So if you get $100, you got 1 in 200 chance of winning a Corvette, and you can turn around and sell it if you don't want to drive it. You can turn around and sell it like that, for $12,000 easy. But the big thing is what I tell everybody is that it's a charitable contribution.
Right.
You're not only trying to win this car, but you're also donating to the Warrior Beach Retreat. And so a lot of people, especially during Bike Week, bikers are always great for donation. They love to donate. We did
take my money.
Yeah. And so during Bike Week, we sold a lot of tickets. We sold a lot of tickets during Bike Week. A lot of them are veterans. And as you know, here at Thunder Beach in Panama City Beach, we have the nice bikers that come here.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yes.
I really.
Great people.
We do. We have nice bikers that come here. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
All I've ever known is nice bikers. I didn't think there were any other kind.
Exactly, but some people are on their misnomer that bikers are bad. But no, Thunder Beach brings a lot of tourism to our beach
absolutely.
twice a year.
Yeah.
So, but we were just proud to support Warrior Beach Retreat, and plus it's going to be a great concert. You know, these guys are, just listen to them on Facebook. They're awesome. They sound just like AC/DC. So it's going to be a great time, and
Cool.
to raise money for the Warrior Beach Retreat to help things like with when Dana went on it, and like I said, it's great to see firsthand what the effects are, and like you said earlier, there's not a dry eye when you guys are passing by when we're out there. So,
Well, everybody, we all see what's going on, but how can you not be grateful to be living in the greatest country in the world? And I'm not saying just because I'm a patriot. No. When you look at other political systems, you look at other governments, perfect, we are not, but the best that's going on this planet by far.
It
is.
Yeah, for sure. I've been to 36 different countries. I lived in 5 different countries, and by far, this is the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely, I agree.
And to see the other things that people take for granted, our freedoms that we have, everybody should be proud and stand up to be American.
Yeah, because my mother was an immigrant and came here and obviously became a citizen. She was a school teacher as her profession, but she wanted to be American, which is the way that generation was, like your dad.
Right.
When they came, they wanted to be American. She would not allow Spanish to be spoken in our house, period. It was English only. And in a way, that's not good, because I can understand a lot of it, but I can't verbalize it because I don't have the grammatical ability to structure the sentences. So I get her wanting to do that, but it's also not good for your kids. So if you're bilingual, teach your kids the other language.
Well, I know my wife came to America from Colombia when she was 18, and it wasn't a conscious decision, I think, not to teach them Spanish. It was just kind of maybe laziness on our part. But my daughter does speak Spanish, but I don't. I always say I'm going to learn mañana.
Tomorrow, yeah.
But it was the same thing. She wanted to be American.
Sure, and I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think it's a good practice to not teach your children
I don't.
Another language, because it helps you.
It does.
But
It does.
in any event. And Pig Latin doesn't count. That was the first thing I learned. So that doesn't work. But in any event. So what are your future plans now that your wife's going to make you get a job?
I am actually signed up to take some entrepreneurial classes. I guess that's how you say it.
Perfect.
Close enough.
I'm not going to try it.
I'm going to take some classes, and I'm thinking about opening my own business out here as well. When I left the Army in 2008, I went to school. The government paid for me to get a different skill set other than, finding bombs. So I
never did ask your MOS. I figured if you want me to know, you tell me. But
I was a convoy security. So I just rode up and down the roads, making sure nobody messed with the convoys.
That is dangerous.
I found a couple IEDs the hard way, and I ended up with a traumatic brain injury and a seizure disorder from the blast percussions.
Concussion.
So when I got out of the Army, there was really not much out there for somebody that wanted to ride up and down the road and find bombs. So I went to school. I got a double associate's degree in automotive mechanics.
Good for you.
So I figured I've been looking around and did my research a little bit, and there's plenty of off-road shops here, but there's really none here for trucks. They're mainly for Jeeps. Yeah. So I figured, why not try and market that towards, mainly just trucks and stuff of that nature. So I'm going to try and open a business, and we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe my wife will let me sleep in the middle of the bed next time instead of on the side where she pays,
Maybe. Well, and I'm just going to throw this out there. That's kind of what I did when I got back home and got out, because there were no jobs. And but I had picked up a partially learned trade through my dad, but then I went on and finished it, and I opened paint and body shops.
Right.
And that's how I raised my kids. And I did well. I didn't get rich,
Right.
but I did well.
Yeah, I'm not trying to, you know, to make $1 million bucks. And,
Yeah, we
you know
lived
that.
good.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I have bad PTSD. So it's hard for me to interact with other people. And one thing I love to do is I love putting my hands on mechanical, you know, things of that nature. So I love doing it, and if I can, you know, do it and make a little money, and I mean, why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I do it in my garage if I had a lift. So my son, he moved down from Colorado this past month, and he loves to do it. You know, he's constantly washing and waxing my truck, and he just
Make sure I give you my address.
So yeah, they're she's on board and my son's on board. So
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. Go for it. I
they're-
mean, do it.
they're standing behind me. They supported me. You know, I did. I was deployed over 5 deployments, probably 26 months, 27 months, and you know, before I even got on the plane to come home. They would tell us, well, you got a date to come back, and I'm like, how can we have a date to come back when we ain't even got home yet? So we were always on a high high ramp. So they stuck with me all those years, and I'm thankful that she had the temperament to stick with it and not go, you know what, this is too much
Well,
for
the
me.
family serves
Yeah.
along with the serviceman
Oh, yeah,
or
definitely.
woman. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
how it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, big time.
She organized a lot of things for the unit I was with, you know, like take a soldier to the movies, and you know, she did a lot of things for the FRG and everything. So she was real supportive. She was very, you know, into my career with me, and I don't think I could have made it through so many deployments and through so much that I've been through without her. She's an advocate for me with the VA. She is not scared to tell people at the VA that they need help. So
This is sounding like my little wife.
so she's
Pit bull women. Pit
she
bull
is
women.
she is very much into my health with the VA system, and you know, and if they don't help, she makes sure that somebody knows that they didn't help.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for that for her. I just had a couple of grandkids. I got one that's 4. He just started pre-K, and then I got one that's 4 months old, and they live with me. I love my grandkids to death.
Sure.
There's so many videos of me playing with the grandkids. It's
On
crazy.
Facebook, all over the place.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I love my family, and I mean, I wouldn't change what I'd done in the amount of deployments I did or things like that. But if I could go back and change some things, I wouldn't have found what I found. I'd have just made it smooth and easy.
Yeah.
And so
Life's not that way, though.
yeah,
It's a,
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm
a
on
roller coaster.
I'm on the uphill of the roller coaster. So
Good.
I'm doing a lot better than I was before we came on the retreat. Before I came on the retreat, my PTSD was so bad. I mean, I went and I put on about 140 pounds in less than a year just because I wouldn't leave the house. I didn't want to make any friends outside the military. You know, once you leave the military, it's hard to make friends with civilians because there's nothing to talk about with a civilian.
See,
So it's kind of hard.
it's funny you say that. But it's not that we don't like civilians, but it's that because we can like have an instant kind
Yeah.
of camaraderie, and you don't get that
Right.
with civilians. Not,
Right.
and not to disparage civilians. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like
It's
It's
just
a band of brothers.
There's
You
something
truly
there.
are.
And
There's a
sisters.
blood bond that's
It's just that- I mean,
stronger than family.
It's just another soldier, sailor,
Yeah.
Marine, airman, or whatever. They can look at you and see you.
Yeah.
You know, not just look at you and go, oh, well, you know, you were in the military and you're kind of wacko. You know, they look at you and they
Well, we are, but-
and they feel where you've been. You know, they know where you're coming from when you tell your stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And some civilians look at you and go, oh, well, you're just playing. oh, you're just, they don't understand because they've never seen it. If it don't happen on TV or it's not in front of them, they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very glad that I came on the retreat.
I think what they don't get is the willingness to, and I don't like to use the word sacrifice, even though ultimately that's what it can lead to and does lead to, but it's like this. He would, you would, I would, regardless. We would step in. You're not going to hurt him while I'm here. No, ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
Okay, you're going to hurt me first.
Exactly.
Before you hurt him. And you would do the same thing. Yeah, and especially for a civilian lady.
Right.
Good God, don't put your hands on her. Don't even think about it.
Correct.
Cowards are not tolerated. So I better shut up. So anyway.
Well, what Dana was saying, that's why on the retreats, we don't just focus on the wounded warrior.
Right.
We focus on that caregiver.
Yeah.
And Dana would probably still be staying in his house gaining weight had he not come on these retreats, because we expect them to show up for breakfast, lunch, and supper, go on the events. So they're forced out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And we are an alcohol-free retreat, and we are not affiliated with Wounded Warrior Project. They're another great organization, but this is local. This is grassroots America at its finest. And that being said, a lot of people want to get behind local things because they can see where it's going, see what it's doing, hear stories like Dana's that go, this changed my life, this saved my marriage. Probably, I don't know, y'all are probably doing fine anyway, but it strengthened them to go, people do care. And now we have met with all these men and women that we can keep up with, because they do. They keep up with the people that came on these retreats.
Definitely.
And the walls come down, and they're not used for political or financial gain. I was listening to the video that Jimmy Sites played as he went down the parade route. He speaks all over the country, and he's been all over the nation. And he has hunting TV shows. He knows, you name it, he knows it. They've been on his show. And he just wept as he went down the parade route. Jonathan put it on yesterday, and we were listening to it as we came home from Sandestin. And he just couldn't believe. He said, people are taking a knee? This is ridiculous. Look at this community. This is the greatest nation on earth. And his dad was in the Army for 42, 43 years that just recently passed away. And this community made him so proud to be an American. And again, I can't thank the community enough, and people like Paul that go, we want to get behind what you're doing, because it is changing and saving lives and making an impact. Because
Absolutely.
I know, because our son Joshua was severely wounded in Iraq, and it's not easy. It's not easy, and people don't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like she was saying, the community, it's easy to get behind because us as the soldiers and the service members, we could feel it when we were here. It's not just something you saw with your eyes. You know, on the parade route coming across the bridge, you could feel, going by the Navy base, you could feel it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it almost brought you to tears, the amount of people that on a weekday would just say, you know what, we're going to take the day off, and we're going to go out here and we're going to support these men and women that have supported us.
And the local businesses, you see them out there in droves,
and they bring their
all along the route.
They bring their families, their children out to say, hey, you know what, we support you no matter what, we're here. And it just felt like this was home for me when we were here.
I get it. That's what happened to me.
Well, that's
Sounds
the
like
thing
what
too,
happened to you.
That too. But with the Warrior Beach Retreat, all those people that are on motorcycles, this thing, like you said, not only people lining up, but all the people in the parade that have to take off work and do all that. So that's really amazing to see that too.
Yeah.
And so that's, that's like I said, there's no dry eye when we're standing out there waving the flag. And people who say PTSD is not real or whatever, haven't experienced it,
Correct. Yes.
And I lost two friends to PTSD here locally that took their own lives because of stuff that we saw in Afghanistan. So it's real.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely.
I would like to see the D drop because it's not a disorder; it's post-traumatic stress.
It is.
I mean, it doesn't go away.
No.
You know, you can take all the psychotropics you want and whatever, and you can go to counseling, and we do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go away.
No, it definitely don't get easier.
My son losing both legs above the knee in Iraq wasn't the worst thing that happened to him. It was those demons that they deal with day
Yep.
in, day out,
Yep.
that those unseen, hidden injuries of war that people just don't get it. Like you were saying, civilians go, suck it up, buttercup, and get over it. And it's not easy. And you need a support group. You need to feel like I'm not alone.
Absolutely.
I can beat this,
Yeah.
but it takes teamwork to beat it.
You know, we could continue this, but let's recap real quick because we're running over right now. But in any event, tell us one more time about that vet that I'm going to win.
All right, 1979 black Corvette, $100, and you can, we're only selling 200 tickets, so 1 in 200 chance. You don't have to be present to win. All the proceeds are going to Warrior Beach Retreat, and we're gonna the anonymous guest, who I can't. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't really know yet, but he might come pull a ticket, and you've heard of him, but
Batman.
but it does look like Batman's car.
It does.
It's got
It's
66,000 original miles on it.
Oh, wow.
Runs great, and it was just a blessing that this guy donated this car.
Terrific.
And like I said, my local veterans, I know where it's going. I see the results. So we're proud to donate the money to them. So buy your tickets. There's only about 92 left. And we'll have a great time on November 11th, and all for a great cause.
Well, come
Sounds
hear the
good.
bands too. And our
Yeah.
fundraiser starts that Saturday, the 11th at 6. And the band gets there when? When are they? Gonna
They start playing at they'll be there during the whole fundraiser, but they're going to start playing at 9.
9 o'clock, and the
9
drawing's
9
around
p.m., yeah.
midnight.
Mm-hmm.
But it's warriorbeachretreat.org. Oh, come on, I'll be in bed.
I'll be asleep at 10.
Warriorbeachretreat.org, and it's on our website also.
So just like
Good deal.
kind of like Armistice Day,
Yeah.
which is what started Veterans Day and the World War I,
Yep.
the 11th hour, the 11th month, 11th day. So we're going to do it
11.
Yeah, that's when
Cool.
that's the Armistice
Yep.
Day and the
it was
World War
originally
I.
called Armistice. Yep.
And so that's why we're pulling at 11 p.m. So the 11th day of the 11th month, the 11th hour, we're doing it at 11 p.m. pulling the
Awesome.
tickets. So
And you do not have to be present to
No,
win.
you don't.
So buy those tickets. There's about
Yeah.
95 left, and we're grateful for the help and support.
Yeah.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. And you got to go down to Perry, Florida, if you hadn't been, where they do all that big bad mudding thing. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't heard of it yet. No.
Well, check it out. Look it up. Google. You know, everybody Googles Perry, Florida. Absolutely wild. But yeah, good idea about the truck thing. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Continued success.
right.
Love your place. We always do
thank
like
you.
it. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
and Linda, thanks for what you do.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Carrie,
it.
for having us.
Jonathan?
Appreciate it.
See you, dude. You
All
still
right.
need a haircut.
Thank you so much.
We're out.